science actually is what is able to create the next generation.
And to imagine at Arsenal, they actually hired a Kenyan chef just to be able to make sure they're eating right and all that. I have a question as well on something that is also plaguing the country: doping and sports science. You know, just like we have white hackers and black hackers, could the dark side of sports science be what is referred to as doping as well?
Yes. So in every profession, there's a negative. So doping has really plagued our country.
Is it sports scientists and consultants like Daktari here who are abetting this doping thing? Because you've got to know what works in my body. You've got to know it will give me some extra oxygen or some extra run. Who's abetting this?
So that's mostly the doctors. So there's some doctors who specialize in that, especially who have a huge background in biochemistry, and they're the ones who introduce it to our athletes, because I can't imagine a scenario where our athletes would go looking for that. It's brought to us, and sometimes that's why ADAC has been doing a great job educating our athletes and trying to tell them what they need to do, how they need to try and resist some of these temptations. But the sad thing, it happens everywhere, not in Kenya. Sadly, we're the ones who have been caught because we're at the top. But it happens everywhere, and we're hoping with time it can.
I need you to shed some light. Just the same way as I know you know what is right for the body as a sports scientist. I'm sure you also know what is given to these athletes to enhance some performance. These drugs that they get, what is it that they do? We know there's erythroprotein, there is some nandrolone sometimes there's something more than that, EPO and all that. What do they do actually?
So basically,
because Kenyan athletes complain that some of what they take naturally contains these things, which we know is a lie.
So the one thing is that if they were to ingest it without knowing, usually they've been given by someone and been told this is a supplement. Take this supplement, and they don't read the labels. However, in most cases, this is something that has been already orchestrated. So any chemical that is given to you to boost performance. So that's how WADA decides whether you're going to be caught for doping or not. So anything that enhances, which is mostly testosterone, anything that increases red blood cells or oxygen carrying capacity, anything that reduces pain or inflammation in the body. So anything that's allowed to make you perform better. And as I said, it's a dark side of sports science. And hopefully...
Have you been drafted into helping Kenya get away from this? Because you would know that dark side. You know the positive side, you know the negative side. And they're talking about having a multifaceted kind of approach to this, with security agencies, the doctors, the pharmacists, and now the sports scientists as well. Would you be willing to help along?
I would love to. In fact, when I graduated and came back to Kenya, my dream was to transform Kenya. However, I've really been sidelined, and people think I'm coming here to take their jobs, but I'm not. I'm here to support. I'm here to support, as I keep saying, and we're here to help. It's an ecosystem that needs to work together for everyone to thrive, and that's why I'm hoping to also create my own sports ecosystem one day that will be able to help, and people will learn and see that things can be done differently. You know, learning from example, and seeing that there's a right way of doing things. And we can all enjoy and eat and have the athletes, the sports scientists, the coaches, everyone
do the right thing as well.
Do the right thing,
Doc, you run a gym. What happens at the gym? Do you encourage people to do healthy eating? Do you because in a gym, if I come in and I've paid, all I want to do is get on the treadmill, do a couple of my exercises, some biceps, some triceps, and then I run to work. So how do you encourage them then to eat healthy and to follow the steps in sports science?
So at the gym, we follow the holistic approach. So we know, they normally say diet or exercise is king, the other one is queen, and both together you get the kingdom. So we're able to convince them that you cannot do one without the other. So we also follow a scientific approach there. We even test once our clients come, we test them. We give them a nutrition plan, we give them a strength and conditioning plan, and we actually follow scientific principles, and these people actually see benefits. And we actually work with athletes. So currently we're working with runners and a few recreational runners and swimmers, trying to get them to the next level through strength and conditioning, which is lacking.
Do you welcome cool kids as well?
Yes, you're welcome, in fact,
Ken, this might be a very good place to start.
This is great, and because it's here, I know it's for free.
It's for free.
I just want to ask, so you're not working directly with any football club or any national team. After the rugby union, you're not. Because why I ask that is, Bernard, you know, when Mike Friday was coaching Kenya,
yes,
I thought that the sort of tactics that he came in with, you know, this would be so perfect.
Yeah, but they
him,
have Monique, who's a strength and conditioning coach who
yes.
have been using. Again,
but
I don't think we have very many.
Scientist.
We don't have many strength and conditioning coaches in this country. I think we just have 2 or 3, isn't it?
A couple
and that would be the problem. But would you work with that strength and conditioning coach? Would that be the perfect complement?
Yes, that would be the perfect complement. I've actually tried quite a number of. If you're seeing me setting up my own private institution, my initial thought was I needed to change things in Kenya through the federations, but I'm slowly starting to realize that I want to create my own private ecosystem where people can learn from us, but I would love to work with them, and I'm open to actually such an idea, because that's where the impact is. That's where the people who need it are.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Kiptolo Boit, sports medicine and sports science consultant, I think has given us very good inklings on what happens both on the positive and the negative side of sports science, why it is important to have it, and why probably athletics and other sports in Kenya are on the decline. Probably the absence of sports science in its involvement is the big problem. We're running out of time now, but we need to let you in on what's going on over the weekend. Ken, you've got that as well, the fixtures?
Yep, yeah. EPL is running into its final weekend before the World Cup break. We have Man City Brentford kicking us off at 12:30.
Which is your team, Doc? Which is your team in the English Premier League? Who do you follow?
I follow Man U.
That's why, you know, when you're talking about Man U, I'm sure you felt it to the bone. Okay, yes. So we got a couple of matches over the weekend.
Yeah.
Without selecting Liverpool and Southampton, which are the other big matches?
The big match would be Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Why? Okay. Because these are the two big money teams. Newcastle
in the top of the table, Man City and Brentford. You don't think that's big as well?
No, that's Man City will just steamroll over Brentford. Okay. Bournemouth is playing Everton.
He's playing Everton.
Everton has been on a bad run, really.
Okay. Liverpool and Southampton.
Southampton have a new coach, as you know. I think should be appointed today or
Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace.
Nottingham Forest playing Crystal Palace. Then we have Tottenham versus Leeds, West Ham Leicester, then the big one, that's Newcastle Chelsea, then Wolves Arsenal. On Sunday we have Brighton Aston Villa, and then Fulham Man United. That's now to wrap up, you know. That.
Great, yeah. Fulham and Manchester United, and then Brighton and Hove versus Aston Villa. Okay, so Sunday, Doc will be sitting to be able to watch that one. What do you make of Man U's performance in recent times?
So I was doing a bit of research, and again, they took a bit of time to implement sports science.
You think so?
Yes. They delayed more than the other teams.
I thought that Cristiano Ronaldo is the perfect
solution.
Is the perfect picture of a man in sports science.
But again, it depends on the entire team.
Okay, I mean, it's a team sport, yes. But you would think he is a perfect example of what sports science should be.
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest, not because I'm a good fan of Manu as well. I've watched him sometimes when he's rising up for a header, and it's amazing how he's able to spring himself above everybody else who hit that ball.
Yes.
And when he went to Man United, people started following his diet, you know.
Yeah,
it's really
true.
impressive.
It's true.
Yes, I'm surprised he's not the sports science itself.
Yes.
I think he's got, other than talent,
he also works, other good qualities. But
the
one thing that I still get amazed with is how he's able to rise up,
to jump up and head
above everybody else and meet the ball and put it in the net.
Exactly. In fact, even nowadays, the reason athletes are able to compete longer is because also of applying sports science principles. We're able to get athletes to perform until they're in their 40s.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Doc. We thank you very much for having come to speak to us. Any other fixtures we have for the weekend that you put up for us? The Floodlights finals are there
on Saturday.
For rugby, so make sure you make a date as well. Doc, thank you very much for coming. We hope to talk to you again sometime, and we hope to see how the country is going to be doing in sports in recent times with sports science.
Thank you.
Ken Chege, the cool kid, you've got the card? Got the number?
I'm getting it.
It's a good place to start. And this is the time we say goodbye as well, and thank you very much for having kept us company. We saw your comments, we couldn't read all of them, but yes, you're saying the Kenyans are just invincible when it comes to marathons. John is also saying, look, if there were any others and there were 7 or 8, still Kenyans would dominate. And one other comment was saying, let's hope that the issue of doping will not come to taint this good run of marathons. We'll leave it there. We'll talk again next week on Scoreboard when we meet you for another red hot show about sports. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye for now.